Your first book is called Sales and Marketing Mistakes, and here you're really talking about the most common mistakes that new business startups make. Give me an example of a couple of them.
Let me tell you one that seems to be epidemic, and you don't have to be a startup to make this mistake. Everybody makes this mistake. And the mistake is sticking with a startup that you're expecting that your unknown product from your unknown company is going to sell quickly. Now just think about that for a second. Unknown product from your unknown company, right? So you'll think it all through and you'll figure I'll make my first sale by 90 days. You're probably kidding yourself. Let me tell you why. It's a process a stranger has to go through in order to give you money for your product or service. First, they have to find out who the heck you are, right? They have to, somehow, you have to make yourself known to them. And that isn't as easy as you think it is, right? That's advertising.
You're untrusted.
That's what. Well, that's step two. Step one is just finding out who you are. Oh, those guys, I didn't know they were in business. I didn't know they sell those. So that takes time. Now that they found out who you are, you have stage two, which is credibility. Who are you?
Why should I buy from you?
Well said. And that takes time again. Now you've gone through all of that, and guess what? You got nothing. You don't have an order. You don't have a sale. All you do, you're now, I guess you can compete. So now you've got to convince this stranger who just heard about you and thinks you might be okay, right? Now you've got to convince him that your product, which has a whole history of 3 weeks, is better than the guy who's been there 10 years and so on. So you get the picture. It takes longer than you ever expected. And that's the mistake, thinking that you're going to go through all of that process and 90 days later you're going to start, the register's going to ring and the line will be around the block and everything will be good and you can buy that new car.
Okay, Bill, so that was one mistake, but I'm guessing this book has many more.
Let me talk about a mistake that a fellow named Gary Halbert, who's a famous copywriter, he's deceased now, he gives classes on marketing. And I was a subscriber to his newsletter for years. And he tells a great story about standing in front of a classroom of young entrepreneurs wanting to start their own business. He's telling them what to do, a la what I've tried to do here. And he says, okay, class, let's assume we're going to start a hamburger stand. We're going to open up a hamburger stand, and I'm going to show you guys why you really need to stay in this course and you don't know anything about marketing. So I'm going to give the whole class, you can have any advantage you want with your hamburger stand, and I'll take one advantage and I'll beat the pants off you. So what's that all about? So one wants the best buns, the best location, the lowest cost, the biggest sign, and so it goes. And he listens, and they list about a litany of about 20 advantages that their hamburger stand would have, and it sounds like it can't fail. He says, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You don't know anything about marketing. He says, I only want one advantage. What's that, they say? A starving crowd. So
makes perfect sense.
You got to think about that for a bit, but boy, a starving crowd could do wonders.